July 2023 at Hobbytown. It was an amazing weekend, everybody, at Hobbytown Tom's River. And yeah, we all got to race against the amazing, the legendary Tony Papagna from California. And he had some silky smooth, super fast cars. Oh my gosh, his cars were so fast. Many of us were chasing his tail on his cars because they just whizzed by the track. They whizzed around the track. Whoa, so fast, so awesome. And I can tell you that his cars, there was something so cool about them. I didn't want to take any pictures of his cars or anything like that because I feel that his knowledge and stuff is proprietary in some way. I don't know, but I just didn't want to take any pictures of them. But they had roller setups that looked more like this than things like this. So yeah, he was just on another level. He was next level. And yeah, props to everybody who raced him and could hold on and basically race with him. That was so awesome. So yeah, Leo, another awesome racer from the past, he finally came back and he raced against Tony because he heard that Tony was there. Yeah, and all the deep pit stop racers, totally awesome. Many of them have leveled up and their cars are so wicked lightning fast. It's so cool to see that. Such a challenge, totally awesome. Yeah, for all of us, we're all here to try to promote the sport, to try to make each other better. So racing against super fast cars, that's the way to do it. What can we learn over the course of time that could help benefit the hobby and help improve fellow racers? That's what it's all about. So yeah, in box stock, I raced Scorpion, my Brocken Gigant. Yeah, and I had to choose this one because this one here, fast, in fact it's super fast, it's lightweight, and yeah, it kind of stayed on the track the first time I did a practice, but then it didn't afterwards, and I said, wait, let's try this. And this stayed on the track better. And you'll see in all of these videos here, I didn't cherry pick any videos. These were example videos of what went on in box stock. You'll see that this car is pretty darn fast, and it was staying on the track when others were coursing out. And unfortunately, I coursed out at inopportune times, as usual this month, and unfortunately did not win the race. But oh well, that's okay. So here we have 3 box stock races I'm going to show you with my car Scorpion. And Scorpion is that little red blur that you see whizzing around the track. Yep. And every time it passes the lap, then I basically raise my arms up. So it's like my little good luck symbol, so good luck kind of thing. So there we go. The red blur is still far ahead, and it's doing really well. But like all of my box stock races, it always ends up coursing out at inopportune times. So yeah. But yeah, sometimes they make the lap finals. Yay. There it is. The red blur. And then getting into the finals, not so lucky. There we go. You see I'm well ahead, and then basically tragedy happens. There we go, course out. In tune class, I had 2 cars that I entered. Purple Rain. This is my experimental tune class car. So many of you know Purple Rain as a box stock car. This is the, well, I'll call it a prototype at this point of what this tune class car will eventually be. And this is lightning quick. The only problem with it is these 9mm rollers. They were just not up to snuff for that track. And so there were many course outs, especially over the little tabletop that they had there. Yeah, that little tabletop. So challenging. You had to get some good front brake on there. And you know what? I didn't even bother with that good of a front brake. And I was like, I should have just put a thicker front brake on here and it probably would have fared better. But no, I wasn't trying to win necessarily with this one. This was more like in my experimental car. So this is the one that I really wanted to win with. Eagle, yeah, pretty cool. Super fast, stable, yeah, love it. And you know what? This had a good shot too. It's just that other tune class cars were better and they stayed on the track. So this one would do fairly well. This would get myself into the finals for lap 2, lap 3, that kind of thing. But I would always course out at inopportune times, and so I wouldn't make the finals in tune class, unfortunately. But Tony did, and that was pretty cool. So for box stock, we had Latif winning 2 places there, and we had a deep pit stop person winning one of the other spots, I think. I'm not sure of the order, but you'll see on the pictures on their site. And that was pretty cool. And for tune class, we had Tony at the top, and I think we had Latif for one of the spots too, and someone else. I think another deep pit stop person. That's pretty cool. Now we go into Eagle. We go into tune class. Yeah, Eagle's a fast car. A lot of people know that it's a fast car. It's not the fastest car, but it's stable and solid, rock solid. However, on this track, with all of its little kind of weirdnesses, like, just staying on the track was a challenge for a lot of people. So, yeah, it was very challenging for a lot of people. Yep, still competitive. Still competitive. There it is. Yeah. Yep, everything courses out except for me and someone else. We're whizzing around the track. There we go. There we go. Yep, still ahead. Still ahead. There we go. It's pretty good. Pretty good for a tune class. And there we go. Bloop. Of course. You'll see what happens. All of us are trying to compete for lanes on the finals. Only one will make it each time. There we go. Arrows following it. There you go. Winner. And then for open class we had winners Leo, king of open class, yet again. And then Tony was the other two spots. And I had competed against them using Venom and Wolfie. And I'll tell you here, this car was plenty fast, but it kept on burning out its hyperdash motors. And then I had to take out the hyperdash motors, the two that I had, and I put in an atomic tuned, and it wasn't fast enough, so I put in a torque tuned, and it still wasn't as fast as I'd like. So this had a shot if I had a hyperdash motor in it, but unfortunately, that's the way the ball bounces with Venom. For Wolfie, this was super fast. I leveled up this car so that it would be super fast, and yeah, even Tony, he took a look at the car, he saw that it was competitive against his, and he said, that's a fast car. And yeah, so cool. To get that kind of endorsement from Tony, pretty cool. Yeah, so the reason why this worked out so well on that track, I think, is because it's got a lower gear in it. So lower gears for technical tracks, pretty cool. For speed tracks, not so hot. But you know what? This was a speed track for a little bit, and then it turned into a crazy technical track. So crazy was it that if you weren't prepared for the technical portion, you would likely course out in the tabletop going into the rainbow lane changer. Yeah, so yeah, a lot of people were coursing out there, right there at that rainbow lane changer after the tabletop. But this one held its place, and it did so well until it crashed head-on with another car. It crashed into Tony's car, unfortunately. So my car, last moment, when it never flipped out before, when it never coursed out before, it decided to flip around and go backwards. And then it rammed right into Tony's car, and we both suffered damage. And yeah, my car never worked right after that. So here's open class. This is a practice run, just to show you how fast Wolfie is. And this is before the battery change. So this is going at pretty speedy pace with 1.47 volt batteries. Pretty good. Wolfie is a pretty fast car. And here I was showing one of the younger racers my Wolfie car and what the rubber tubes are for. And now open class, and there's Tony right next to me, to my left. Sorry about the gray box in the lower left. That was probably a window open. Yeah, my car is pretty spiffy. Trying to follow it with my arrow. Pretty fast. Yep. So I think all of the racers knew that Tony is really fast, and what some of them did anyway, is they probably adjusted their brake settings like a lot, as to mean like maybe some of them decided to remove their brakes or maybe lessened their brakes so they can go faster. So that's one approach, but you have to use enough brakes so that you can deal with all of the little obstacles in the track. So you have to be able to deal with that tabletop towards the bottom of the track. You have to be able to deal with that dragon back towards the right of the track. You have to be able to deal with those digital curves towards the top of the track. So yeah, every track poses its own unique challenges, and the winner of a race is going to find a way to deal with every single challenge in a track. Now, one potential way of trying to win against a racer like Tony. I mean, Tony's a legend. He's like really, really good. So in order to try to beat him, you're going to have to pull out a stop. You're going to have to like try to possibly make your car not as stable, not as solid as it could be, so that you can get a little bit faster. You have to take off a little bit more brake. You have to try to figure out a way of lightening the load so that your car is lighter, so that you can compete well against Tony. And that works for some cars. It doesn't work for every car. And let's take a look at it again, because it's worth taking a look at. This was after the big crash, the head-on collision between my car and Tony's car, and it was desperately trying to piece together my car again to try to get it to be in race-worthy condition. It was going around really fast, and then suddenly it just coursed out. So it's right now I don't think it's the same car as it was before. So yeah, I was sitting there, I was like piecing together the parts because everything ended up being like dislocated, dislodged from their usual places. And I was like really upset because I was like, this is the car that gave me that nice humming sound. Now, let me tell you about meditation and stuff, because I'm a yoga teacher, so that's one of my jobs anyway, I'm a yoga teacher. And when I hear these cars go around the track, I concentrate and focus on the humming sound of my car. And it's like music to my ears. I've mentioned this to you before. I've mentioned this to all of you before in my videos. Music to my ears as I listen for that hum. And when I can get so comfortable that I can close my eyes and hear the whirring, the humming of the motor, that's where I feel kind of like at peace. Does that make sense to some of you? I'm sure it does to some of you. Maybe to others it's like, what the heck is she talking about? But no, the whole idea is you want to develop a car that is so smooth in its transmission that you can lock your focus on your car and follow it around with no issues and get that consistent humming sound. When your car is right for a track, you're going to hear a consistent humming sound. So yeah, that's next level stuff. You can hear that humming sound. That's what it's all about. So yeah, think about that next time you're racing your cars around your track. If you hear consistent humming, that's when you know your car is right for the track. Now, it doesn't mean that your car will have a consistent humming across every track. You have to find the right car that will give you that consistent humming all over the track, all over that particular track you're racing on. Yeah, so for the longest time, it was this car, Firefly, that gave me that consistent humming, and it was so beautiful. This was the car that, yeah, I beat Leo with, and Leo's a formidable racer. He's like freaking awesome, right? Like he's like really, really good. And this car beat one of his cars, so that was like totally awesome. And even he like mentioned that the transmission in your car is so smooth. And I attribute that to the humming sound, right? You concentrate on the humming sound, you find the right car for that track, and if you can get that consistent humming sound, you're probably going to do really well in the race. If you feel that there's like a broken kind of sound, and by broken I mean a wavy sound when it's going around the track, it's not a consistent humming sound, it's probably not going to fare as well on the track. So that's like a guideline that I like to follow when I'm racing. I just try to find the car that kind of suits the track the best based on that humming sound. So yeah, pretty cool. Now for box stock, you can't really hear the humming sound that well, right? It's box stock is box stock with slow motors, and you're just kind of hoping that every little crack, crumple, and pop that you hear when these cars sadly hit the side walls and stuff, you just kind of hope that this doesn't break, right? Especially around digital curves. And you'll notice in this month's track, there were a lot of digital curves, especially off that little dragon back hump. Yeah, pretty cool. So, or pretty not cool, because it actually like caused a lot of cars to just nosedive and then kind of jump course out off the track. So yeah, that's why you needed a pretty consistently heavy but speedy car, and the full cowled cars, very good for that. MA chassis cars, very good for that. So one of the deep pit stop winners had an MA chassis, and it was not the fastest car, but it was slow, steady, stable. It just worked out great. And that was the smartest thing to do, to use a car like that for this race. Yeah, so yeah, Latif, one of the box stop winners, he had multiple cars in, and one of his car was like the slowest car, and he just wanted to make sure that like he would at least have a car that would be almost guaranteed to win if everybody coursed out. And that was like, I'm like, that's a really good strategy. Why didn't I think of that, right? Like, that makes a lot of sense. So this particular track, it really was for the slower cars, the technical cars, to kind of deal with, in box stock that is. So yeah, Latif raced a 5-1, the new K4 Tosh, and it was faring very well because everybody was just coursing out and he was staying on the track, and he got into the finals with that truck. Pretty cool, yeah. So yeah, we didn't see a lot of mock frames in box stock finals. We saw Latif's, he slowed his mock frames down enough so that he could like race and win. And as all of you know, you don't need a lot of battery power for mock frames to win. I kind of proved that in one of my videos in the past. You can race with as low as 1.39 volt batteries, alkaline batteries, and win with this car. Pretty cool. And for tune class, basically it's all about damper weights and brakes. So pick one, or pick both. Like, try to figure out some way of balancing this so that the damper weights or your brakes are going to adjust your car properly so that you come off of jumps and land properly on the car. Now, if you've got your damper weights set up the wrong way, you're going to experience this. It's going to go whoop, whoop, and then badunk. You don't want it to go badunk. You want it to go whoop, whoop, and maybe you'll hear, and then it'll continue going on. That's the ideal way that you want your car to land. One hit down on the ground, on the track itself, and then go forward. No badunk. So yeah, that's my advice for tune class. And for open class, you've got the body dampers going on, right? Now, tune class at Hobbytown, they allowed the body dampers there so long as they were uncut. But for open class, that's where most everybody had body dampers. And a lot of people make their body dampers out of rigid carbon plates. And as you well know, my body dampers are usually always made with car catcher material. Yes, because I feel that it's more flexible than the carbon plates, and also because of the flexibility, it's going to give you a much better dampening effect. Now, some people may argue against that and all, but really, I don't want that badunk as much. I want this to be like boop, and it just goes up and comes down. So there's a lot more manner of curvature that you can get with this body damper here. So this car catcher material, you can bend it so that it curves. Solid carbon plates do not curve. So here we go. It's nice, smooth, right? So the only thing that you have to worry about is the badunk, to try to avoid the badunk. So if your car is weighted properly and braked properly, you're not going to have that badunk. You're going to have a minimization of the badunk. So that's what you want. Because that badunk, it causes you to lose fractions of seconds, and every fraction of a second could mean winner or loser in a race. Yeah. So yeah, this had a good shot, but unfortunately I didn't have enough Hyperdash motors to compete with it. This was fast enough, even with its weird chandelier pivot that one person actually I guess he didn't understand it totally, because he was like, that'll never work kind of feeling, but it worked out fine. And I've got this here thing, the thing called the DXN AT bumper front. Now, they call it DXN AT bumper front because I guess that's where it originated from, or maybe a majority of racers from DXN California, that they race with a front bumper just like this. So yeah, but I decided with Wolfie I wanted to make the front bumper a lot more rigid like this. And with a rigid bumper and not too small, but small enough rollers, this handled those digital turns really well. And you know what? There's no loss of speed because of this power dash motor and the lower gear. By lower, I mean it's 4-to-1 gear, everybody. So that's the secret there. Power dash with a 4-to-1 gear. Fast, VS chassis, pretty cool. One of my younger racing friends asked me, what is the purpose of these tubes right here? Why did you have them here like this? And I said, well, okay, if this car ever courses out and flips over, boom, it lands safely on the rubber tubes. So there you go. And so long as you get these to be within spec, like lower than, like within that measurement box, the specifications box, then you're good. Pretty cool. So yes, this car is really fast, really quick. I would say it's quicker than it is fast, and that's what you needed on a technical track. And you saw in those videos. Pretty cool. Although I didn't win anything this month, that's okay, because it's all about fun. So, if you like this video, everybody, please slam the like button, subscribe to my channel. You'll see more videos just like this one. Until next time, everybody, see you, bye.